My name is Ariel in the show, and I'm a fairy, and I'm kind of I'm an air fairy. I kind of do whatever I want, but I still follow the rules of my queen, which is Titania.
My character is Duke Theseus. He is getting married, and it's one of the catalysts for the major plot events in the show.
For me, I was nervous for sure. Theater and all of this is really lovely, and it's one of my favorite things, but it's still very new to me. I didn't start doing any of this until my sophomore year, and that was mainly with crews. And so I didn't do my first show until, I guess it was the spring of my sophomore year when I did the play, which was Radium Girls. And so it was nerve-wracking for me when I said that it was Shakespeare, because I knew that the language was really hard, but I was excited for it at the same time because I knew it would be something that would challenge me instead of just kind of something I would be normally used to.
For me, when I heard it was Shakespeare, I was a little worried because I know people are generally unfamiliar with Shakespeare versus something like Footloose. We just had huge turnout for that. So I was a bit worried not many people are going to show up, but after getting through the plot and all the acting and seeing all the other people just embracing their roles, I'm pretty excited. I hope a lot of people come. It's definitely going to be entertaining. So
yeah, it will be. I think for me, the most challenging part about it is that I am one of the fairies, which there's like 5 of us, but they get to all be together and I'm not really along with them very much. So it was hard. It's been kind of hard for me to figure out, oh, I am supposed to be with them in these little spots, but I'm really on my own a lot. So I kind of have to find the balance between group work and still being my own self, but then also trying to figure out where my character plot is that I still am part of like the fairy kingdom and I work for Titania, but I also am kind of carefree and do what I want and in the way that I want, and I'm not worried about time frames or anything. So it's been challenging to kind of get into that role as well, because it's quite the opposite of what I normally am. So
for me, it's definitely been finding the balance between Theseus and me. Unlike a lot of characters in the show, Theseus is a character from actual Greek mythology. He killed the Minotaur. He found his way through the labyrinth with a piece of string. Very cool character. I love his lore, but it's been tough to try and not just go full Minotaur mode on the show and try and actually be a lover, not a fighter. He's getting married. He loves his future wife. So just really trying to change the character while still remaining true to the character and all the lore behind him. It's been fun, but biggest challenge for sure. Favorite part of the process? I definitely love stage combat. I love the big dance numbers and stuff. So while there isn't much combat in this show, and I really don't have any of that stage combat, I do get a dance at the start of the show. I'm very excited for that. It's just very fun to learn all the choreo. So that's my personal favorite part.
For me, I have 2 things that is my favorite. My first favorite is that I get the use of some very fun props throughout the show. I'm not going to say what they are because they're very fun and they're very unexpected, I guess. I would say at least they are. But it's really fun being able to use those. Even though I don't use them for a lot, I get to use them enough, and I think that's really fun. And then my other favorite part is honestly being able to sit and watch everybody do the show, because I'm only on stage for certain parts of it, but I think that's what makes it even more fun, is that I get to see everybody like learn and grow, because Shakespeare is so different from what we're used to. So I think it's been a really great experience being able to watch everybody, and there's so many like comedic spots that I was not prepared for at all in this show. And I just have one memory of one rehearsal in like specific, and we were running a specific spot and I could not stop laughing. It was so funny because it was going right but going so wrong at the same time, and it was just too funny. And so I think those are probably my favorite parts. I'm going to go to the University of Northern Iowa, and I'm going to study elementary education there. So I'm really excited because I love working with kids. I've always loved it, and I think teaching is a really great path for me, so I'm really excited for that. I think that it's really helped with just my communication skills. I think that's one of the biggest skills that you can have, and especially as a teacher. I mean, I'm going to be working with little kids, and I have to figure out all the different ways that they learn the best and they understand what I'm saying. And so if I have to make it in a fun way, like I feel like I've gotten some of that from this. And I think that's a really great thing. And also kind of just learning on to go on the fly. I feel like that's a big thing, is not everything's going to go as planned when you're working with kids. And so I think definitely working here with these amazing people, I think that's really helped me too.
Growing through theater. I'll say the thinking on the fly thing, very fun. It's a fun skill to have, and it's almost more fun to learn how to have that skill, like when things go wrong and you just have to trust yourself. Definitely learning to trust myself, getting the roles that require just a lot of memorization, and then you get there and you're all good and you're confident and you know what you're doing. It's a great feeling to have, that you know you can trust yourself with some things, and that's why.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
It's hilarious. It really is.
Some of the language can be tough, but I trust our actors enough that we are making it clear what the words are saying beyond just what the words are.
Yeah, the delivery of the words are easier to understand than you would expect.
It's some real funny jokes in there, some funny moments for sure. I think people should come for the comedy at least.
Oh yeah.
That's my take.
Yeah, it's really a truly hilarious show that you would not expect it to be funny. When you think of a Shakespeare show, you kind of think of the wordy dialogue and what you not understanding the words of it. And even if you don't understand all of it, it's okay. You don't need to. It's just fun to come and see the comedy and the growth that we've all put in. We've put in so much work for this show, cast and crew, and so I think it's a really great that we have such a supportive community that they will, I know I have the faith that they'll come and watch it, even if it may not be as easy to understand, but yeah.
My role, I play a Francis flute, and I am also part of the mechanicals, and our thing is that we're putting on this big, we hope to put on this big play for the Duke of Athens for their wedding. So that's just what we hope to do. And we're all kind of a wacky bunch. We're not it's kind of clear that we're not the best actors, but we still want to put on a good show and just do our best, and we're having fun with it. That's
Yeah, so I'm also one of the mechanicals. I play Petra Quince, and she's kind of the director of the mechanicals. Although Bottom is kind of their true leader, Petra is their director and helps direct the show so that they can perform it in front of the Duke and Duchess on their wedding day.
I was honestly, I was pretty excited. I kind of like older English and Shakespeare. It is kind of harder to understand, but I think if you take the time to analyze it and perform it, it can be really good. So I was excited to do it. Just think an older show is kind of intriguing to me. So I was oh, I think this will be really cool. I was excited.
When I found out about the show, I was kind of nervous. I mean, it definitely wasn't my top choice at first, but it's kind of turned into this thing where, obviously I've learned a lot through the process as an actor, because Shakespeare is a whole nother language, so that it's something that you definitely appreciate more once you're performing it. So from an actor standpoint, it's been awesome.
As the mechanicals, like I said before, we're all kind of like a silly bunch, and kind of tapping it, especially with the role I play within the play within a play, just tapping into kind of that silliness is kind of can be kind of vulnerable. So it's being ridiculous on stage, and can kind of be almost almost embarrassing, but if you just have fun with it, it's really not. It's just what the role is and what people want to see. So I'd say kind of that vulnerability is the hard, most difficult part. I think I've been able to overcome it though, and kind of get used to it. And once you do get used to it, it's really fun.
My main struggle has been the last couple of shows I've been playing a mother. So this has been a very big change. Although I think Petra can kind of be obviously she's a leader, which is kind of mother-like. She's definitely way more comedic than everything I've played in the past. So it's been a challenge to, navigate through that and try to you can't play into the comedy, so you kind of just have to, I feel like it just kind of happens, I guess, especially with what we're doing, so.
I just seeing how the whole story on stage, with all the shows I've been in, just seeing it all, watching it during rehearsals and seeing everyone learn their lines and the blocking, seeing everything come together is probably the best part. And just that satisfaction of the story and everything, just seeing it unfold, I just like that a lot.
My favorite part has been definitely watching my fellow actors, the other mechanicals the comedy that they do is hilarious. Like Dylan's role is absolutely hilarious during our play within the play, and that's just been awesome to watch. Because I'm not necessarily like in the play within the play, but I get to react to it, and it's so much fun. Every time it's a little bit different, and it makes everybody laugh every single time. So that's awesome.
I plan to go to Iowa State University, and I want to major in English. So I want to hope to like write like short stories and like books when I grow up. I was like writing. I was like storytelling and stuff, so I think that would be that'd be a great career for me. Since kind of like reading like a script is kind of like reading and like performing, and I've always liked storytelling, so I feel like being like on stage and performing in like a specific role kind of helps me like see how like a story can like develop and like how that could like translate into like what I write, and just like building confidence in general, like confidence on stage and confidence in like my own writing too, I'd say.
Theater has helped me expand my social group. I always kind of, in my like middle school and elementary years, always kind of tried to fit in with, the sportsy group, and I eventually realized once I got to high school that wasn't necessarily my place, and everybody has their own kind of place, and this is where theater definitely was where my social group kind of was, and so coming to the high school and being a part of this has definitely expanded who I talk to, and everybody's like has a place here, and so that's awesome to see.
Yeah, so seeing it, the show, it's just like, it's honestly like people have said before, like with Shakespeare, you probably expect it to, if you don't know it, to expect it to be kind of boring, but this show, like it really isn't. I'd say that like it moves fast, the plot's engaging, with all like the love and drama. I'd say it's very interesting to watch and engaging, and like the language isn't. I'd say like as long as you like the language, if you just pay attention, just then like the language and like you can understand what's going on with the show with like the language and the action. I'd just say it's very entertaining, comedic, funny, has a lot of good stuff in it. I'd say to come see it. Yeah,
the acting is definitely. You know what's happening as long as you watch the actors. I mean, it's very, it's awesome to watch. And the comedy is just hilarious. There's so many good moments. Like, the whole show is just great. It's just everybody just needs to open up to new things. And we definitely had to. And so I think the audience needs to as well. And they'll absolutely love it. So.
Good start. So my character is Lysander. And Lysander is an Athenian who is one of the lovers in the show. And his main goal in the show is to marry Hermia, who's his love interest. And all characters have a goal. And for characters, it's more prominent than others. But I think for Lysander, it's very prominent that he wants to be with Hermia. And that's his one goal, is to be with Hermia.
My character is Aegeus. He is an Athenian royal. He's kind of an antagonistic character in this show. His whole character is he is the father of Hermia, and he is trying to prevent her from marrying Lysander. He's trying to get her to marry Demetrius. And he says to the Duke, he complains, he says, she's either going to marry Demetrius or I'm going to kill her. So it's a very driving factor of the plot. It causes them to run away into the forest.
Yeah, I guess my character is Nick Bottom, and he kind of represents the other half of the plot, which is this play within a play. So, he knows about the Athenians are having this big wedding, and they're looking for entertainment, and it's a chance to score some big money. So, he gets his troupe to get together, and they rehearse this just horridly awful play in the woods. And Nick Bottom, in specific, gets into some hijinks with the fairies, and turns into a donkey and, finds the queen of the fairies falling in love with him and all this crazy stuff before eventually he wakes up and I was like, that was a weird dream. Anyways, I'm going to go do my play. And, he just kind of goes through that whole little arc there.
At first, I kind of, honestly, like when we first heard about it, like that was a possibility, I kind of rolled my eyes. But as we got to learn more about it and what Shakespeare's all about, I was like, oh yeah, definitely. That's going to be a challenge, and which means it'll be great and it'll be fun and something new with new language and stuff like that. Totally new territory for everybody. So I think it's been a really fun learning process. And yeah, at first I was like, yes, this will be fun. And I was right.
I've always thought Shakespeare was interesting, so when I heard that it was going to be on the list, I was pretty excited. I was kind of hoping for a Midsummer Night's Dream because I knew about some of the plot. And when it was selected, I was really excited because I've never done Shakespeare before. I've only read it, and I was really excited to be able to perform it and speak its language. And learning about it, it's really interesting.
I guess for me, like when I heard that Midsummer Night's Dream was an option, I was kind of hoping for it. You know, I don't think this department has ever done Shakespeare, so I was like, oh, well, they got to do it at some point. And, you know, people, they hear Shakespeare and they think, oh, I don't want to do that. Nobody's going to understand what's going on. It's all this, you know, boring old stuff. But it is really not. And especially in Midsummer Night's Dream, you can see, you know, these fantastic, fun, charming elements come to life. You know, funny characters like, you know, Nick Bottom and his little troupe, like really help bring the story to life. And there's, you know, just all this fun stuff. And the language can be kind of, you know, a roadblock, but as you go and as you learn, you can really get used to it, and it just becomes like second nature. So,
I think the biggest challenge has got to be, I'd say the language has been a challenge. Like at first it was a challenge, but we really got the hang of that really quickly. I think the biggest challenge is like understanding the characters in a way, because they're very complex and poetic, and learning how to make those characters like all the more human, you know, because it's so poetic, to make them seem so realistic is probably the biggest challenge. I'd say that's the biggest challenge with any show, but this show especially.
For me, at first, it was kind of the language, but then once the cast came out, I found that I was a more serious character, and I was excited to play a more serious character on the totally opposite end of characters that I usually play, and characterizing that more serious character, because he's like a pretty awful person. It's pretty fun to characterize that, so yeah.
yeah, I kind of want to build off what Oliver was saying. I think, you know, in Shakespeare, you know, you kind of have to dissect, you know, figure out what each line says, figure out the dynamics with your group, with the other characters, what your character wants, and, you know, I'd say like digging a little bit deeper and taking that second step towards your character and developing a show and a plot, and, you know, this character who you show on stage can be a little bit tougher with Shakespeare because of how meticulous it is and because of how careful the writing is, but it can also be really, really fun to sink your teeth into. Yeah, the little play at the end of the show is really fun. And we had some fun incidents while blocking that. So, you know, that experience was really fun, and getting to perform it at the end of our runs every night is always a blast. It's a great way to end the show.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch it too, because we're in the audience during that scene. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd agree that even though, yeah, we're just watching that, I think that is my favorite part of the show, because it always cracks me up every single time. Other than that, like scenes I'm in, I really like the fight. There's a huge like fight scene type thing, fun, which was really challenging to learn, but we got that down pat, so that one's fun to do. I really like that scene.
I just actually accepted my offer of admission to University of Iowa, so I'll be headed there in the fall, and I'm looking at studying biomedical sciences, so that'll keep me busy the next year. But yeah, I'm excited. My first year in the department was, you know, very fresh, you know, for me, and we had a whole new directing staff at the time, so, you know, we were really trying to grow the department. And, you know, I got to meet some awesome people that were the seniors when I was a freshman, and, you know, living off of, you know, their example, and, you know, being the thespian president now, and watching the department and all of our fine arts grow across the years into something that has been extremely successful in, you know, speech, drama, music, all the fine arts. It makes me really proud, and I'm you know, I've really enjoyed my time here, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for them as well, because they got good things going. So, starting off, I hadn't been in that many shows. I did shows at SCT,
But it was completely new, like the size of everything, like the production value and that kind of stuff. So that was really fun, like to be in that kind of an environment where really well funded and there's so much space and so many opportunities, stuff like that. So that's been really fun, getting to work in a space like that and learn how to grow in a space like that. It's been awesome.
Yeah, similar with me with like the new space and the new opportunities. And it's like really been fun. Like my first show here was like such a memorable time for me. And like, yeah, Anastasia was my first show, and it was just so fun getting to play different characters, just different shows, different cultures. Like, yeah, it's really fun.
Midsummer Nights Dream is, it's super fun, although you'd think Shakespeare might be a little boring, but it is really fun. It's short, it's sweet, and a really good selling point, I would say, at least for me, is that the first act is longer than the second act, and a lot longer. So once you get through that, it's smooth sailing after that. So that's mine.
I'd say, I mean, it's awesome. It's hilarious. I mean, yeah, definitely it being Shakespeare is not like a put down. You can understand what's going on. It's hilarious. It's awesome. It's just like a really good time, I think.
Yeah, I just kind of want to build off of that and say, it is Shakespeare, which you can hear Shakespeare and kind of get intimidated at first. But, ever since our first read through, it's really easy to understand what's going on. The plot is very linear. It follows, some really fun storylines. So, whether you're stepping out of your comfort zone or you're excited to go watch some Shakespeare, I would say definitely give it a go, because it will not disappoint, and it might, push your boundaries a little bit, and in the best way possible.
Yeah, and if you're really looking forward to cracking up, then this is your show. You'll really crack
Oh,
up.
It's hilarious.
Definitely
You'll
the
really
place,
crack
and it's
up here.
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely
good.
hilarious.